little song, man.
Yeah, it gets catchy, doesn't it? Gets stuck in your brain.
I like it.
Well, welcome, Monarch fans. We're here with another episode of Hudson Homers, 22nd episode of the year, which is a little bit hard to believe. We are mid-August. Kids are arriving on campus. It's getting ready to start off the fun part of the year, which is actually basically the whole year, but July and August. CB, how's it going?
It's great. Yeah, I was at ODU this weekend. I was watching. They had the baseball camp, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit. And they had some of the high school kids, and that was fun. And so watched the men's soccer exhibition Saturday, and they won. And watched the women's actual game last night, and they won. So it's fun. ODU sports is starting up. It's exciting.
Hey, we're 1-0 to start the season.
There we go. We love it.
Women's soccer doing their part in the fall as usual. And on that note, we've got some updates just from the Monarchist Podcast Network overall. So I don't know if it's because you all like CB and I, or there was, we just got a lot of this thing. But we will be kicking off a new show starting, I think, next week that is going to cover women's soccer, volleyball, field hockey, pretty much everything else that's going on during the fall. We're going to keep up our current cadence with Hudson Homers until baseball season is back in full flow and we do weekly. We'll have the football show as we always do with Mike and Aaron. That's going to have a little bit of a lineup change too. I'll only be on there in a very limited capacity this year because I want to hang out with CB and talk about all of our other sports and put some extra attention on baseball because we know that's what you all are here for. But big things happening, a lot of things that have happened that are going to be announced later, some really fun things that should be coming out here right around football kickoff time. So stay tuned. Nothing new you need to subscribe to. We're not going to try to get creative and name another show. It's just going to be the Monarchist Podcast, kind of what it initially was meant to be, covering all things ODU. So CB, I'm excited for it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it was a smart decision of mine just now to make you be the one to say all that. You said it much better than I was going to. But yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to talking to some of the athletes from other sports that, I definitely get to know the baseball guys pretty well. So, but I don't feel as comfortable kind of interjecting myself with some of the other athletes. So I'm excited to get to talk with them a little bit more than I usually do.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't need us to contribute too much to strategy there. Cause I know the very basic base levels. I asked a field hockey coach one time when I was statting a game, why did the referee blow the whistle? And every response was just to turn and shrug because they didn't even know. So
they don't know.
We're going to learn as we go. We're going to bring on those coaches, those players, let you get to know them a little bit. So something to keep you entertained as we go through the fall and the winter until baseball season is back in full motion in February.
And speaking of bringing on those coaches, let's just go ahead and do that right now.
Yes. If I got to find them in here. We got a lot of good stadium pictures we got to get to later. But
well, we are going to have today Coach Finwood, our head coach, Coach Chris Finwood, and assistant coach recruiting coordinator Paul Panik. We love it. Glad to see you guys.
Hey, can I do the Brady Bunch thing where I look up and see?
Yeah.
Hey, Gary.
Yes, we got the whole crew.
Or what was the other one? Hollywood Squares.
Yeah.
I might be. You guys might not be old enough to remember that one.
Bruce Valanche.
Yeah. I always like the Brady Bunch theme though, where they looked up at each other. That was good.
Paul,
well, thanks for having us on again, guys. As always, we're fired up to talk a little bit about some of the mid to end of the summer, baseball comings and goings. We talked with Hage, I think last time about some of the portal kids and transfers. I don't know if we got into all of them at that point.
I think we got into freshmen last time. We didn't talk about any of the transfers yet.
We didn't talk about the transfers. All right. Well, this would be a good opportunity to do that, and Paul can help us out.
There we go.
We got a good number of them. So
we got a good crew. Yeah, got to meet a few of them this weekend. That was I met about 5 of the new guys out there at the camp this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if y'all want to start with that, but we could just jump right into it.
Let's go ahead. So I tell you what, now I'll just give you a name and y'all tell me. Yeah. So I got my list here.
I love it when you do that.
Okay, yeah, I don't have cool pictures of them, but how about I got and I'm probably gonna mispronounce the first guy's name, but JJ Gotti is a right-handed pitcher from Dayton. Was it Gotti? Okay, I was like,
Yeah.
So JJ Gotti, I met him. Seemed like a great kid. So y'all tell me about JJ Gotti.
Yeah, great kid, good size, good athlete, righty from Long Island, right, Paulie?
Yeah, from Long Island, Coach.
Yeah, he's our only Long Island guy. So we got a good story on that. Mike always, if there's a kid that he likes a little bit, he'll always try to hide that fact for whatever reason. Because the Long Island accent is like nails on a chalkboard for me. And this kid doesn't have it, fortunately.
No, not really.
From Long Island, that by no means we won't recruit you. I just have to get over it. But he's a great kid. He's a transfer from Dayton, and went in the portal when their head coach left, and really excited about him. He's had a good career there, and good arm. Anything to add on that, Paul?
Yeah, it's electric. It's strengths. It's a weekend starter, right? Obviously, when you lose three of them, it's always good to kind of add some of that depth of somebody that's done it at the Division I level. So definitely happy to have him.
Excellent. Yeah, and he's a redshirt junior. I should have mentioned that too. Okay. All right. So next we got Patrick Johnson, another right-handed pitcher. He's a senior from Tennessee Tech.
Right. So Patrick's an interesting case. He was at a couple different schools, and in the summer he kind of lowered his arm slot a little bit. Right. So his numbers last year were good at Tennessee Tech, but he was a little more over the top. I saw him early in the summer, and he slid that thing down. It was 87, 89, and was turbo sync, ground balls, and so he should be compete for some of those bullpen innings and chew up some of those mid innings and ground ball guy.
Did you see him in the Coastal Plains League, Paulie?
Yeah. And then I went down and I saw him in Macon, and he was really good there too. So it was it was a good fit. Him and like with anything with some of these pitchers, right? Him and Coach Mike have to jive, right? With what he's doing, with what he wants to do, and what Coach Mike wants to do with him, right? So that's kind of where it became a really good fit for both sides.
And I still haven't met him yet, so
okay.
He's coming from the land.
His team played in the final of the. They actually lost in the last game to Wilson, but he was playing all the way through until about a week ago.
Yep.
He's coming from the land of the fighting Bobby Wilders out there at Tennessee Tech.
Tennessee Tech. That's right. The Golden Eagles. Yeah.
All right, let's see. So next on the list, we got Darren Kuski, right-hand pitcher, junior from USC Upstate in South Carolina. I did meet him this weekend. Again, seemed like a great kid.
Kusky, I believe it.
Kusky,
right?
all right. I think you're right.
Yeah,
Kusky. All right.
Yeah. He's we're fired up about Kusky. He's a big right-handed kid. He's got a good arm. It's going to be low 90s. He's got a really good breaking ball. Kind of when I saw the breaking ball, kind of reminded me of a little bit of Kellen Davis's, but harder. But it's got kind of weird. You can't hit me shape to it. And again, another weekend starter. He's got a lot of experience at the Division I level, and Paulie said he was out on the road, recently, and the guys from Kentucky were the guys were wanting to get him. They really liked him, and so that was good to hear.
Yeah, it's always good when you grab guys and grab them away from some of the Power 5 guys, and and then they're kind of pissed you got them. So that's always good.
Hey, that sounds to me like we beat Kentucky on a recruit. So we're just going to take that to the bank and leave it right there.
Yes,
there we go.
So we're 1-0 versus the SEC so far this fall.
Stop the count.
We love it. Yeah. All right. So next on the list, got a local kid right here from Nansemond, Suffolk, in Suffolk, Virginia. Jackson Runyons, a right-hand pitcher. He is a redshirt freshman coming in from Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Jackson's a fantastic kid. Of course, we knew him, from being local and going to NSA. He committed to Tech so early, we really never got a chance to recruit him, and he's battled some arm stuff at the end of his high school career and then this past year. So that's why he redshirted, and he's still only 14 and change months off Tommy John. So he's still in the rehab phase. I got to see him throw once this summer, and the strikes were inconsistent, but it's a really good arm and a really good moving, strong athlete. And the best part about Jackson, I mean, he's going to have to get through, the rehab stuff and fight it out. But we probably talked to 4 or 5 or 6 different people that had interactions with him, including his college pitching coach. And everybody just said, what a fantastic teammate he is, what a fantastic kid, how much he'll add to your clubhouse, your dugout, the environment. So we were really excited about that. And, it's worth the gamble for us when the makeup's that high caliber. So we're excited about Jackson.
Would he be on track to throw? Would he be on track to throw this fall, next spring? Like, what would be his timeline getting back out there?
Yeah, that's a good question. We're going to evaluate him here in the next few weeks and see kind of where he is. I knew he threw a little bit for one of the college summer league teams here, and then maybe a couple times out for the Pilots, even at the end of the summer. I know he's on the team. I don't know how much he pitched there at the end, but
one game.
It was early. I felt like, when I saw him again, Mike and I saw him on the same day, and it was a bad day, to be quite honest. And him and I were laughing about it. I said, one day we're going to look back on this and laugh. I know that day's not today, but it will be. And we're banking, we're betting on you as the person and the arm, and we're just going to, dig in and work with you and help you get healthy first, and then we'll see where we're at from there.
Yeah, so the first thing I did that day that he committed, that he put it out there that he committed, we were going over the Pilots. One of their longtime coaches, David Mitchell, coached Jackson at Nance Pacific. So I was like, I figured they were kind of there at the same time. So I was like, hey, tell me about this kid. He's like, you're gonna love him. Like he's an ODU guy through and through. Like he's just phenomenal human being. So he's a beast in the classroom. He's like, he's y'all's kind of guy. I was like, so that. David would lie, and David's going to tell you when he likes somebody when they're a great person. And he's one of the best people you're ever going to meet. So that was exciting.
Yeah, that's cool. Fits right in.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. So let's see. This one, I might mess up this guy's last name, and I apologize if I do. Ryan Sheehy. Is that any close?
Yeah, you got it right.
Yeah. I got it right. All right. So Ryan Sheehy, he's a right-handed pitcher. He's a sophomore, and he was at Hartford this past year.
Yeah, so the great thing about him is that we Coach Mike had a tie to his old college coach, and he threw meaningful innings for them, right? And his stuff's really good. It's another low 90s guy with a good breaking ball, and he performed really well in the NECBL this summer, right? Like he was on before he kind of hit his innings mark, he was on track to be an all-star there, right? So we're expecting good things from him, and I think it's him adjusting to the Division One level, right? But he proved that he could do that this summer, so that kind of takes that off of that kind of eases the burden on your mind a little bit. Okay, well, can this kid go from the D3 level and step up? He already proved it this summer.
Yeah, I think it's interesting on the D3 kids. There's been more Division III pitchers that have been able to move up and be successful, I think, overall than hitters. And, it makes sense to me when you think about it. Like from a pitcher, if I can throw it at this velocity, spin rate, whatever you want to talk about the metrics, and throw it where I want to, I can get guys out. Like, your mistakes get marginalized more at the Division I level, but you have seen plenty. We had a couple 2 years ago in Brandon Pond and Jay Cassidy that were good contributors for us. And so I think this kid fits right in that boat. Like he's very competitive, he's very athletic mover, and he's got a chance to and he's got the right look in his eye when he's standing out there on the mound. That's the thing I remember maybe the most about him.
Nice. All right, we love that. All right, I think we talked about him for a minute, but we'll talk about it for another minute maybe. Marcus Van Alstyne, he's a right-handed pitcher. He's going to be a senior. He's from VMI, and he's from Hanover, Virginia. It's always a fun one. Local kid, good kid.
Yeah, I'll take Marcus, the VMI guy. This kid's going to be fun. You guys are really going to enjoy him. He's got a fantastic personality. Interesting note: if you close your eyes when he talks, you think Kyle Edwards is in the room. They have this Two different times I've heard him talking when I think Kyle was in Washington, PA, playing. But he's he's a BMI grad. He finished in early, and he still got another year of eligibility. So we're excited about him coming in, and he pitched in a number of roles for VMI. He started some. He threw out of the bullpen. He threw a lot of meaningful innings there. And stuff wise, it's good stuff. It's competitive. I think he's got a good frame. He's a good sized kid. We're looking forward to him being another good piece of the pitching staff.
Yeah, Marcus, he's a pretty awesome guy. I was talking to him the other day, and I was asking about grad school and all here, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm only taking like 4 classes. I'm used to taking 6 or 7, because he graduated in 3 years. So he's like, this is gonna be cake."
Yeah, no doubt.
No PT in the morning unless it's with the team, though, right? That's also a nice plus.
First thing I told him was drop and give me 20 push-ups. So
that's funny.
Giving him flashbacks.
All right, so let's get into the hitters now. We got a few hitters. So this is another local kid from Cape Henry, and actually ended graduating at Cox. He graduated high school in 3 years. Macadon Dye. He's a catcher. He's a junior. He is freshman year. He's at Liberty, and last year he was at UNC.
Yeah, so Max, a super physical catcher, right? Pop to all fields, and I think he's going to add some depth, and they're going to be able to fight it out this fall. He's had he was good at Liberty's freshman year, and then he was playing behind a first rounder, right? So again, it's he's going to have to battle it out, but he's looked good so far, and and we're excited to have him.
Yeah, he's another plus makeup guy, like really good teammate, really good energy, personality, just adds to the vibe, I think, in the locker room, the dugout, the clubhouse, everywhere he's at. He's been a lot of fun to be around already, and just fit right in.
Yeah, he's a really great kid. He was a winner too. I mean, he got a state championship there with Tanner Shadle at Cape Henry, and I know Cox. They might have won the state championship that year there too. I don't remember that, but yeah, really, I saw him a lot in high school, and I was always a big fan of him. So I was very excited to see he ended up with us.
Yeah, you all are going to be loaded at the catcher position rolling into next year. I mean, you're talking 4 deep, I think, at this point.
Well, you can't ever have enough good catchers.
That's true.
I don't, on that note, I don't think Ephraim Morales is going to catch this year. He's going to move to the outfield and second base. We're going to take a year off. He'll catch bullpens and stuff. We're going to take a year off from that and make sure he's completely over those couple concussions he had and get that bat in the lineup. He was, for whatever reason, he was just snake bit back there. Every time he caught, he got hurt. Couple back swings, foul ball, bat hit him in the groin one time. So we get the bullseye off him so we can get his bat in the line because he's a good hitter.
He's going to go out in the outfield, get line drives off his kneecap or something.
Get him as far away from the ball as possible.
Just get him one of those bubble boy suits so he can just roll around the outfield like they do at the minor league games. Make sure he's okay.
If you just go stand behind the fence, buddy, we got you. We'll get this. Let's have a fast guy in center. All right, so then and I met this kid the other day, and he seems awesome. I'm very excited about getting to watch this guy. Cash J, amazing baseball name. Third baseman. He's going to be a 5th-year senior. He was at Washburn, and before that, Northern Oklahoma, Tonkawa. Yes, there we go. I'm sorry, I said that terribly incorrect.
Cash is a super interesting story. He broke his hamate bone in April, in the beginning of April, right? And so when you go in the portal, you're kind of looking at the stats, and his fillables weren't as full, right? It was like 6 homers, 15 doubles, right? It was good, it was fine, right? He still hit 380, but then you kind of dug in on him, right? And he broke his hamate bone, and the cast comes off a couple weeks later, and he's right back in for the conference tournament. No rehab, no nothing, right? So for me, that was kind of adding that All-American type of grit guy, Central Oklahoma kid, right? All-American boy. So, he's definitely going to be a fun one to watch. He's got some physicality, he's got some pop, and he should be fun to watch.
Yeah, and he's a good, solid left side of the infield type guy. He's played some short, he's played some third. It's fine. He just had that little bit of that injury bug, but he's put up good numbers. He's always hit. It's a really good swing with a lot of strength to it. So he's an exciting guy to have. He looks good in the uniform.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. Got a good personality. He's definitely one of those guys. If he has a good year, he's going to be a big Monarch. Monarchs fans are going to love him.
That's with sure. Cash J and Mac Dye, we got the all conference name team already. Sure.
That's the good name team. Yeah, for sure. And 2 JJs on the team. That's also fun. I didn't even notice that. So I was looking at it just now.
You got and then we got sprinkle of a Gotti on there too. I mean, you're just lighting it up.
All right, so we got one more guy to talk about here, Grayson Spar. He's an outfielder. He's going to be a redshirt sophomore, and he is from Stonehill, which I had to look up, and apparently this was their first year playing Division I.
Yeah, so Grayson was the newcomer of the year in the NEC. So he's proven that he can hit. He's very, what Coach Mike would like to call very hitterish. Right, good path, good hands, stays inside the baseball, uses the field. Right, it'll be exciting to see him maybe try to open up a little bit and try to hit the ball a little more pull side. Right, so I think he had 10 last year in a tough ballpark to hit. So he should be a good addition in the outfield.
Yeah, they played VMI in an early season series, and one of those games. Paulie was like in the 20s, the 20-something to 20-something. And I remember, being on Stonehill, and I remember the other day, Van Alstyne said, "Hey, I pitched in that game. Did you hit a home run off me?" he said he hit and Grayson said he hit a grand slam in that game, but it wasn't off him. So, yeah.
He should have just said, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. Let him think it forever.
So it's a good solid group of guys, that we got in the portal this summer. And we talked a little bit about this. The work that goes into that, man. I think Paul and Hage and Ryan Moore and Brandon Pond and John Keene, who, is up at Merrimack now, those guys for 3 straight weeks as soon as our season got done, just were in the office for hours at a time, scouring the numbers on the phone. Like, it was impressive the work they put in, and just the formulas they put together for what we thought was going to work, and all of that. I think they just did a fantastic job, and so much. Legwork goes into not just finding the good numbers, but then getting the right type of kid. It's just like, what type of kid is going to do well here? And again, we talked a little bit about this. What do we want to go after? We kind of did not go after, maybe the guy from the sexy school, like the big name. We've done that a few times and it hasn't worked out. And we went after the guy from the good mid-major program, or D2 or D3 in Sheehy's case, that have had a ton of success, really good numbers, and they're used to winning. And I think that travels with you. There's different adjustments you have to make, just like high school kids coming in here as well, or junior college kids. But we're hopeful certainly that this formula will put together a guy that can help us a little bit sooner.
Yeah, I was going to say what I love, again, I just assume they're good kids. I assume you guys wouldn't get them if they're good kids. So that part we're just set aside. But just looking at, on paper, the players, what you said is they're guys they've had success. You're kind of picking your spots. Like you said, you're getting them from smaller places, let them, maybe have a bigger opportunity here to play a little bit higher level of baseball. And I think it seems like a great approach. I hope I guess we'll see a year from now. We'll talk about how it worked out. But and a lot of the guys have a lot of eligibility left too. A lot of them have 2, 3, one of them like 4 years left. I mean, that's a big thing too.
Yeah, if they're good.
It's fair.
Well, at some point this year, that 5 for 5 thing is going to come through. So, everybody's going to get another year if you're not already in your 5th year. Cash wouldn't be. But I think a lot of these guys are going to get an extra year. So, that's nice because you get some continuity and, you're not as new, which you seem to be a little bit more in this climate, so. Yeah, hopefully we're not sitting here next summer going, well, that didn't work. Let's try something.
Well, seemed like a good plan at the time.
Nobody's an expert at this for sure.
Yeah.
And it kind of leads us into, and we talked about Will Johnson last time, right, with the new guys.
Yeah, we'll talk about it again. I didn't. Yeah, but I mean, please do.
Well, Will's a fun kid. We had him. It's a funny story. It's all about connections, right? And Paulie was out last fall and saw him play and liked him a lot. And when he called him, he, just kind of cold calling, hey, kid from, an Oklahoma junior college. He's from Texas. What do you think about ODU? You know anything about ODU? And the kid's like, yeah, I went to camp there last 2 summers ago. And I remember Will at camp. He's a good player, great kid, ball player, flew around the field, good instincts for the game. He was just really skinny, just a little bit too small, just stature-wise at that point. He ended up signing with Texas Arlington, went there, just had a bad experience. It didn't work out. He didn't do well academically, blah, blah, blah. So he went to junior college, Northeastern Oklahoma, and did great. And that's when Paul saw him, going into that fall. And we were able to get him here, get him committed this time. And just, 2 years makes a big difference in a kid. And he's a very, very fluid, good mover. Still not strong, but he's stronger. And he's got all the makings of a guy that can really play shortstop. So we're excited about that. And we're excited about him. And another kid that's got a fun personality, good smile, easygoing guy. It reminds me a little bit of Tommy Bell in some of his mannerisms. And that's never a bad thing.
Yeah, I think ODU fans are going to hear these transfers and be pretty excited that you've got a couple guys coming in that compete for weekend starting rotation spots, because obviously that's the big concern. You get 3 that are drafted, and that's awesome, but it's all right. How do we plug the holes? So I think from what you said of guys coming back from injury, the freshmen that are coming in, and then this class of transfers with guys, I mean, you may have the opposite problem. You may be having to, draw some straws to figure out who's going to start Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Well, we hope not. We hope that it gets resolved. So I think it will. And, you never can have enough pitching. I mean, we've got 8 guys in that freshman or redshirt freshman class now, with the 3 guys redshirting last year, Cole and Owen and Maddox. And we like all 3 of them. I think they're going to help us in some capacity. And their future is bright. And the freshman class of pitchers is full of some dudes with really good arms. Yeah. Of course, they got a long way to go. That's a big transition. But I think with this, our pitchers that are returning, have all thrown a lot. And, the guys that are coming back have had good success. We're excited about them. They're healthy, coupled with the transfers that we brought in. It's got the makings. Obviously, it's early. We got a long way to go of being a good, well-rounded pitching staff. Much more right-handed than we were a year ago, obviously. But that's just how it goes. Every year's a different journey in that respect.
There were a couple of other additions actually to your staff that I wanted to talk about. So Bryce Jones, who just finished up his career, is going to be. He told me he's coming back as a graduate assistant. So he's going to be hanging out.
Bryce is coming back, and we're so excited about that. I mean, what an amazing kid he is. And he's already.
My mom made him cookies last night because she figured she'd run into him at the soccer game. So she was like, "Tell me if you see Bryce. Tell me if you see Bryce." And so he was just like, "That's the best thing ever."
That's awesome.
So that was pretty good. Yeah.
And then we've got two other young guys coming in to jump into player development type roles, grad assistant player development roles. Quinn Stromberg is joining us from Auburn, where he is an Auburn grad and spent the last 4 years there. He was the head manager there, and also owner and starter of the number 2 moving company in the whole city of Auburn, Alabama. He started from scratch as a college student, and it's an amazing story. This kid is really interesting. You guys are going to love him. He's got a great personality, throws great batting practice. He's going to be a lot of fun, and he's going to help Paulie out with the catchers as well. And so he just got here today. I got a chance to meet his parents on my way back to my car after work and talk to them for a little while. So they're from Northern Virginia. They also have a house in Cambridge. So they'll be coming down and watching and hanging out at the beach and all that stuff. And then Casey Gibbs, those of you fans will recognize that last name, Kevin Gibbs' son. Casey just graduated from Longwood, and he's a catcher infielder and going to go to grad school here and help us, on the coaching side too. Kevin's really fired up. Casey's a great kid, just like you'd expect from that family. And Kevin Gibbs, his dad, is just so excited because he really wanted him to play here. And he just wasn't quite what we were looking for at the time. And but now he's got him coaching here, so he's really excited.
Yeah, I was telling you guys told me about Casey yesterday, and I was like, man, he graduated college already. I remember he was out here at the high school camp not that long ago. Made me feel old on that one.
Well, you are old, so
I am old. It's true. That's fair. See all this gray hair wasn't here a couple years ago. It's true.
Not as old as me.
Yeah,
that's true.
Going back. Well, Paul, question for you. You've had a full year now with the program. You've just gone through what I assumed was a pretty crazy first full recruiting cycle for you. Anything you're taking away from that? Any highlights that stand out, knowing that you've got a year in the books with Old Dominion now?
I think for the biggest takeaway for me is how special of a place this is, right? You see it as an outsider coming in. When I'm at Will and Mary, we're coming in to play, and you look at it, right? And you're like, oh, okay, this is a nice place. But then you get here, and it's like, man, the people, the help, the support staff, the coaches, Finny, Mike, Hage, right? Like all those guys, and that's part of what we're selling, right? This special place, right? And I think that has, it has its ups and downs, but man, I think when you find people that believe in this place the way we do, that's when I think you put together special teams and special group of players, right? So that for me, I'd say is the biggest takeaway, is just how awesome Old Dominion is.
And Paul's not done. I know you're out there still watching games, recruiting. I mean, we don't need to name their names. Y'all had 3 guys, 26s commit this past week, and I know you're out there working on more guys, right?
Well, and the crazy part is that this whole portal NIL rev share piece has completely thrown the recruiting cycle on its head, right? So we looked up and, the end of June, we're like, man, like there's some really good 2026s, like kind of like in old school recruiting where like you got recruited in your junior going to senior summer, you took your official visit in the fall, made your decision, you signed in November. It kind of, for some guys, it almost reverted back to it, right? Like the top chunk was committed early, and then there was kind of that big line. And I think we've cultivated a couple really good guys, and we got a couple more guys that are coming on visits that we really, really, really like, and they'd be great gets for us. But it's recruiting. You'll see. You never know how it goes.
Yeah, the kids we got in the last week, man, I think some of what's happened is some really good players are still out there because of the portal, and guys waiting on that potentially, and we're beginning, and as far as high school stats and stature, and these guys still play a bunch, get some kids that we're super excited about in that 26 class. So we're almost done with that class, as much as you're ever done with any class, but getting close anyway. And then it just rolls right into the next thing. We're talking, you've got calling 27s and setting up visits, things like that now.
Yeah.
So,
When,
but it
when
has
his,
slowed down. It has slowed down the process, which, in my opinion, is a good thing.
Good.
I think we will make less mistakes. I think kids will make less mistakes. I think kids are realizing, high school players are realizing, we may not have all the huge we once had. So if it's a good school with a good reputation, good people, we need to be ready to listen because they want us. And these guys that maybe we thought we were going, they don't want us. And so that's kind of what's happening a little bit.
Yeah, everybody wants to say, "Oh, I get this big school got me." It's like, yeah, but then you get there and they didn't really want you. They wanted you to go and compete against 8 other guys.
Yep, that's right.
Do they still have the early signing period in November for baseball?
Well, some of that is changing. Like Danielle hasn't given us kind of time because there's no more NIL, right? So it's just institutional grant and aids. So I think the NCAA is still working through how that gets sorted, right? But I don't think there is a signing day per se.
I think there will be the first day that you can sign, but there will be no window of. Used to be a week. You had a week to get all your stuff in, all that. I think there will be, hey, you can sign after this date, and then it's ongoing after that. So that's what it sounds like anyway. I think that's what's going to happen.
That could be an interesting hiccup for you too, because you could be going into signing day with 12 commits, and then that's when the flip game starts. And if that's a longer period, that could be a little rough.
Yeah, that's kind of the way you're right. If you only got a week, but I mean the way I look at it, I mean if we send the scholarships out on November 10th and the kid hadn't signed it within a couple of days, then he ain't coming. So we'll go give it to somebody else. And that could happen without a doubt in today's world. We've lost a couple commits, between the time they committed and the signing date. So it's part of it. It's just, you got to hopefully have good relations, and you got to keep recruiting them. I think that's the thing that gets lost a little bit. These kids commit and then people stop talking to them. Our guys do a great job of staying in communication with them. I like to think of it as we're just starting to get to know each other. So let's keep going. Let's keep, strengthening that relationship. And that's what can help you keep them.
I like your take on it. You told me one time is like, let's just go get guys who want to be here.
Yeah. We want to be here. Why wouldn't we want guys that want to be here?
Yeah.
It sounds really simple, but that's the truth.
We get to the point where we feel like we're talking them into it, then the heck with it. I mean, I heard these guys talking today in the office. Hayes had just gotten off the phone with somebody, and he came back in and told Paul, he said, I'm glad we're not getting that kid. Let's take him off the board. Like, I didn't like it. The conversation just wasn't our kind of dude. And that's okay. I mean, we know what we want. We know what works here. We know, what doesn't work here. And so that's part of the what you go through in the weeding out kind of process.
Yeah, at a certain point, I think you gotta either succeed or fail or both with what you believe in. I think that kind of goes for anything you do in life. It's you say these are the things I believe. Now, if you're always failing, then maybe you got to reassess if you're doing the right stuff. But if you're having some success here and there, then keep going with what you believe in.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, and you want guys that are going to be fun to coach and be around.
Yeah,
we're around each other so much. Same thing with coaching staff. Like, let's get good people that are fun to be around. You want them to be good coaches as well, certainly. But the people are more important than the skills, in my opinion. Same thing with players. If you get good people and they're good athletes, like in a lot of cases, you can teach them a lot of it. If you get kids that are good players but are, crap heads, then that's no fun. And we've all been there. It's great when it's going good and it's miserable when it's going bad. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it.
So you guys had your high school camp this weekend, your high school prospect camp. So you had some, 26s, 27s. I think there were even a couple of 29s out there. So tell us about, you guys have those at least once or twice a year. You have these camps. Tell us, what the camp is for, what's good about it, what's important about it, aside from just.
Well, normally it's the end of the summer camp It's 2 days. Parents bring their kids down. They go to the beach while they're at camp or watch. And, we usually have 100 kids or a little more. And it's a big, money maker for us in terms of paying some of these young assistants. But it's also, we've got some good players in it. I mean, Kenny LeVar was in it. Noah Dean was in it. We've had a lot of good players come through that camp. And through the years, this year with the facility, demands and, things that we couldn't do, we decided to make it quite a bit smaller, and it was about 35 kids. So we just had it one day, and the pitchers worked out in the morning through bullpens, and then the catchers were there, and then we had the infield outfielders and catchers come for the afternoon session and work them out, and then took some batting practice and played a little kind of modified machine game since we don't have the backstop up still. So, but the guys got a lot of work. When it's a smaller camp, you get more reps. And so I think everybody had a fun time. The weather wasn't too hot. And, in a camp like that, if you end up with a handful of kids that you might follow, see how they do, especially young kids, then that's also a bonus. And I think we did that. We got a few kids that are in there that we'll keep an eye on. And there's more kids that are going to play college baseball at some level. And we tell them all, since you came to camp, man, we'll help you out however we can. In fact, Hayes called, one of our good friends, that's a Division III head coach today, to tell him about an infielder that was at camp that we were impressed with. And so hopefully that helps that young man. And I think that's what the camps are for. You're creating some value for yourself. And to this young man's credit, he came up to me after the camp and said, "Coach, I get it. I understand what's going on in recruiting. If it's not here, where do you think I can play, and how can I ask you to help me?" And I thought that was a really mature way of looking at it for him. And when you do that, of course we're going to try to help. Like, absolutely we will. And we did. And so hopefully, that phone call will lead to something for him.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like about it. You really get to see the personalities of some of the kids. We were kind of talking about it, that the kids that come out that are comfortable and having fun, that's where you're like, okay, these guys can play. And again, are they right for ODU or not? Who knows? But you can really tell the guys are like, okay, that kid's a ball player. There was one kid I pointed to you and I said, I don't know if this kid can play at all or not. I like him. I like his whole vibe. I like his deal. Like he's gonna end up somewhere, and like I'm gonna keep. I got his name. I'm gonna be looking for him, rooting for him, because they just seem like a good kid.
Yeah, totally. Hey, Vinny Pasquantino came to that camp when he was in 10th grade. Little skinny left-handed kid. Yeah. And I'm standing back there. We're kind of in between setting up for something. And he had, "Hey, Coach, I really like it here." And I was like, "Great. Who are you?" He introduced himself. And he said, I got a really important question for you. And I said, "What's that?" And he said, "Well, my parents are here and we're coming back tomorrow. Well, I just want to know where some good seafood is." And I said, "Well, I'm not going to forget you." And Vinny actually was a better pitcher that year in camp than a hitter.
I was going to say, I remember seeing him pitch that year. He was much better at it.
He was. And then he grew 4 inches, and put on about 30 pounds, and all of a sudden he was a better hitter. But he'll still tell you he can pitch.
But it's CB, you sent me a photo yesterday, I think, of you and Vinny. It was 2019. And I said, Vinny just looks like a little kid that got tall real fast. That's what he looked like in that photo next to you.
Yeah.
And now
we were both a lot skinnier then, but he got heavy in the right way. His weight gain was planned.
Yeah, and he's been on a tear recently in the pros. He is on fire right now at the right time for the Royals.
Just keep it going.
Yes. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but we will be right back. We're going to talk stadium updates. We've got some stadium pictures for you, and then we want to talk about MLB expansion as well. So we will be right back.
This episode of the Monarchist Podcast is brought to you by the Pride of ODU Collective. Their mission is to elevate the experience of student athletes through name, image, and likeness, while also elevating the fan experience. If you or your business are interested in getting involved, you can reach out to us directly or go over to theprideofodu.com. That is theprideofodu.com. Thank you for listening, and go Monarchs.
It is theprideofodu.com.
The pride of you'd be impressed with how many times I forget the actual web address on that. So it's just saved in a bookmark. You should do the same. Make it super easy.
Sure. There you go.
So, all right. Well, CB snuck me some stadium photos. I will absolutely say there's been some progress made, but we'll love to hear what Paul, what you're seeing out there, and Finny, what you're seeing day to day now.
Well, I'll start. They've had a few setbacks this summer, stuff underneath that wasn't necessarily, the construction company's fault. That's just an old stadium and a lot of things going on under there that maybe people didn't quite foresee, but a couple water line breaks and, then you get the utilities people involved. They don't care when our stadium needs to be built, so they're going to work on their schedule, and it takes a little while, but it's moving forward now. I would say the footers and the underneath stuff, should be done here shortly. And once they start going up, everybody says this, it goes fast. So it's all the underneath stuff that's frustratingly slow because you just can't see the progress. And like we talked about before, maybe that's a good metaphor for life, right? But you gotta get the underneath stuff done. Got to get it right, and we'll be able to watch progress as we're out there this fall. We are working on some temporary netting systems so that we'll be able to play, scrimmages this fall. And the best way I can maybe describe that, if you go online and look, when the Savannah Bananas went into Clemson and played last fall, they played in football stadium. And they made a makeshift baseball stadium out of the temporary dugouts and backstop and all this. Our system's going to be very similar to that. It really looks cool. And you never know. We may be starting the season with this system. We will be playing on that field. It's just going to be a work in progress. It's not going to be done when we open up. It will be done some point in the spring. And it's just like we're going to accept it and move on and do our job and do the best we can. The field is fine. In fact, the grass is in the best shape I've ever seen it in 15 years. So
very soft out there. Yeah,
it looks
nice. I wanted to lay down on it, to be honest.
Yeah, well, you can. Not having the ryegrass there for over a year now has really helped. And so we're gonna work through some things, but we will be playing there. And thanks to Rick French and his group, we started working on this plan at the beginning of the summer when we saw, where they might be. And shout out to Netting Pros, my friend Eli Rowe, and has really worked hard with us. They'll be the ones coming in and putting the system in, and then also putting in the main backstop when it goes up. Once they get the press box in, they'll have anchor points to put the real backstop up. So at some point in the spring, whenever that is, it may be before the beginning of the season. We just don't know right now. So that's where the stadium is. And we'd like it to be further along than it is right now, but it's not. But we will be in it, and we will be playing. We've got about 12 names now: Town Bank Field, Bud Metheny Ballpark. So we'll be playing there, and we're excited as heck about all of that.
I'm going to try to buy one brick and see if they'll say my name every time they come back to like the TV broadcast. The Gary Williams One Brick Stadium.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's great. And
Paul, have you been asked a lot by recruits? Is it like a pretty key selling pitch for you of like, hey, we got this new awesome stadium on the way?
For sure. Everybody loves new and shiny, right? It's not always the kids you want, right? Sometimes the kid that's too worried about that stuff is not maybe necessarily the guy for us, but it's kind of sifting through it. And once you kind of talk about President Hemphill and how everything came about and the monies and the school and what they've done to support us in the stadium, like it shows a lot to the recruits, right? And they appreciate that. And I think now that footers are going in, you can kind of see the outlines and the rooms, and it's kind of coming more to life. I can see, okay, there's the locker room, there's Coach Finwood's office, here's the training room, right? So it's definitely getting that cool point.
It's going to be amazing when we're in it. I mean, it really is. We've been sitting in on meetings with for furniture and designs, and we were talking about furniture for the VIP room behind home plate that you can stand out on the patio right behind home plate or go right through the glass doors and watch from inside, and it's the same view. The loge suites that are down each line in between the dugouts, so in front of our offices, and then the ones that lead into the kind of the big blue room, our version of the big blue room there, which will be outside patio and then goes into where our office meeting room used to be. So it'll all be much different than people have, seen in the past. But it's going to be, what we hoped for was a fantastic place for our fans to watch a game. All chairback seats if you're in the seating bowl. Some unique areas that you can watch the game from a suite perspective. And then, of course, Rally Alley is not going anywhere, so you also have that. And you'll still be able to move around the stadium and some of those things. So, it's exciting in every way. And then also, that was kind of 1A. 1B was a great place for our players. We've got a fantastic locker room. It's beautiful, big, spacious, really nice. Really nice players' lounge area where they can study and hang out. That helps create cohesiveness. Really nice equipment room area, really nice training room area. Coaches' offices and suite, coaches' locker room. Very functional. It's all right there on the field. We checked all the boxes, man. Now it's just we're just impatiently waiting for it to get done. It will. Nothing's ever perfect, especially when you construction. I know that. So we're going to work through it with them as we get this thing going. And it might be a little bit like COVID from a fan standpoint. Remember 21 at the beginning of the year, you couldn't come in the stadium. And then you could come in, but you had to have masks on and do all this. We maybe start the year with not many people able to come into the stadium watching because of the construction ramifications. And then as it moves forward, we get more. That's a possibility. I just don't know yet.
Sounds like it might be perfect timing for the better weather part of the season too.
Yeah, there you go.
That always helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, good weather, brand new stadium. We'll get some good crowds out there.
Beautiful 81-degree Saturday with the first weekend you could have fans. Woo, that'd be something else.
That would be something else.
Yes. All right. Well, there's one more thing we wanted to talk about, and it's not directly related to ODU baseball, but plenty of our guys who are working their way through the system might be impacted by it. Rob Manfred went on TV and was asked pretty bluntly about MLB expansion. I mean, it's clear that there's some expansion that's going to be happening. But the number 32 got thrown out, and then the opportunity to radically realign divisions geographically. So I wanted to get everyone here's thoughts on just like what that would look like from MLB, getting rid of AL, NL, and having basically 8 14 divisions with 32 teams across Major League Baseball.
I actually think it's cool. I got Jim Bowden's proposed realignment right here off Twitter. So you got the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, kind of like the NBA does. So the Eastern Conference, the East Division is Red Sox, Mets, Yankees, Phillies. The North is the Reds, Guardians, Tigers, Blue Jays. The Mid-Atlantic is the Orioles, Charlotte as an expansion team, Pirates, and Nationals. And the Southeast is the Braves, the Marlins, Nashville as an expansion team, and the Rays. So that's the Eastern Conference. The Western Conference, Midwest is the Cubs, White Sox, Brewers, and Twins. Southwest is the Astros, Royals, Cardinals, and Rangers. I'm not sure about the Royals and Cardinals being in the Southwest, but
yeah, that's a stretch.
They didn't really. I don't know if they had options. There's so many Midwest teams right there. The Pacific Coast is the Rockies, Athletics, Mariners, and Giants, and the West is the Diamondbacks, Angels, Dodgers, and Padres.
The Giants and Dodgers not in the same one. That's that kind of a couple of these are.
Yeah, the Pacific Coast, and then So, I mean, other than Charlotte, Mid Atlantic, I don't know, maybe they should be in the Southeast. So you can move some teams around probably, but I don't think it's terrible. I think other than just this is the way it's always been, you're gonna have the hardcore traditionalists that are gonna hate it, but with the CB, you mentioned it, with no DH, the rules are the same. I mean, it may be time to do something like that.
When I hear that, I think Charlotte and Nashville will both be cities they talk about, and my guess is one of them gets one. I would be shocked if they didn't have another team out west. I think it would be very surprising to put two basically in the South like that, and not have like a Portland or I don't even know what other city out west might be reasonable.
Salt Lake City.
But there aren't many teams in the Southeast. Like when you think
there really are. Yeah,
there are. You got the Braves, and then you got nothing.
And as a Braves fan, I'm like, they can all stay away. Yeah.
And putting Charlotte in between Atlanta and DC makes sense, right? And Nashville, the same thing right there. I mean, Nashville, you got some room for some fans there. I don't know. I don't know what would the West Coast options might be on that note, maybe. But it's definitely interesting.
They go to Oakland.
Yeah, back to Oakland.
I don't like many of Manfred's things he proposes, but I don't hate this one.
Yeah.
No, I'm not against. I think expansion is just always going to. I think, frankly, the opportunity for more baseball players to get to play baseball at a high level is awesome. Because what you're talking about is 60 more major leaguers or 50 or 60 more major leaguers. You're talking about like another 300 minor leaguers. So you're gonna have to add another, 8 minor league teams. So some of those cities that lost teams get to have them back. I mean, so those are all just huge positives. And that's where having some of those teams that they took away the minor league team, but kind of kept teams going in places like Danville, Williamsport, off the top of my head, just a few of the places. Having those teams that continued having teams is going to be a benefit because they'll be able to walk right back in and say, okay, here's your A-ball team again.
Yeah. I mean, in Charlotte and Nashville can. From a fan base standpoint, I think can support a major league team. Without a doubt. They can do that. So, that'll be interesting to see.
Paul, who do you root for in the majors?
I guess it'd be the Yankees. I think once, like when my brother was in, it was Giants, right? And then whatever team he was on, he kind of followed. But
Braves, obviously. That 1 year. That way, he's a Brave. The guy played for the Braves. I'm just saying.
So I guess it would be the Yankees, just the Rivera, Jeter, Posada, group, all those guys. Did you see Rivera get hurt Old Timers Day?
Yeah, he went down. That was rough.
Man, it's hope for a speedy recovery. But but that was always his thing though. Mo would power shag. That was his cardio. He would power shag every day. So that was like his thing.
Yeah.
So.
Them 55-year-old legs can't do that anymore.
No.
Yeah, time is still undefeated. But that potential division though for the Yankees would be brutal. I mean, you've got 4 teams that perennially want to win. When you think about it, you've got another division with like the Nats and the Pirates and the Orioles. And it's
and a new team, and an expansion team.
You have to do some work on the playoffs there.
Yeah, that would be rough. You're right. That's a good point.
I'd be interested to see how they map out. Like, okay, in your division, you're going to play 16 times against your opponent. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be interested to see how they'll schedule that. Because remember, like at one point, it was like 20-something, 23 or 19 or 23 against your. Like, man, that's so.
Which
so
I like that. I think what's the point of winning division if you didn't play in the division? I think if you're going to win and spread it out throughout the year, and you should have the last weekend should be against a team in your division. That's one problem with playing 15 and 15 is you can't do that. There's 2 teams that are going to be playing out of league, never mind out of division. I was always a big fan of being a Braves fan when they play in the Mets and the Phillies and the Nationals when they were good. That last month of the season, nothing but those teams. That's always very fun to me.
Oh yeah, and I grew up with. I mean, it was always the end of the year, the Dodgers and the Giants going at it. back in.
Well, you heard me when you listed off that list there. He had the Dodgers and Giants not in the same. I'm like, you can't. So some of that stuff where it's like you're gonna end up fudging things a little bit to make people fit. Like the NFL has like the North where like Miami's in the North. It's like because they want those rival where Dallas is in the East, right? Those things that don't make any sense, but they make sense in sports wise.
Yeah, you don't want to kill the best rivalries for this. Yankees and Red Sox always need to be in the same division, right? Feels like stuff like that. So
yeah. Well, luckily you've got 162 games. So with the smaller division, even if you did say play 20 or 21 against your division opponent, you still got 100 games there to play with. So I would hope if they go to this model that they protect all those key rivalries so that every year you're doing at least 3-3 or you're doing 6-6, whatever it may be. Because Dodgers and Giants fans, I feel like they have to fight at least a couple of times a year. Otherwise they're going to do something worse in public. So they just go to the parking lot, knock down, drag out, and you're good.
Now it's the Dodgers and Padres fighting. Everybody fights with the Padres though. Hey, on the minor league note, I did see that Trent Buchanan got moved up to Rome with Jacob Gomez. So they're
nice.
A high A. So Trent must be healthy and throwing the ball well for that to happen, I suppose. So
I think I looked it up. He had his last eight appearances going back to July 10th. Had 10 2/3 scoreless innings, 14 strikeouts, only 2 walks. Great. So he's been killing it lately. And then John Holibet's got moved up to Double-A a week or two ago. Yeah. Matt Kootenay's up in Double-A with the Angels. So I got some guys moving on the right direction.
Andy Garriola and Carter Trice both got moved up to Double-A recently. So and
Sam Armstrong got traded.
Sam's in Double-A with the Twins. So we got a bunch of guys in Double-A. Hunter is in Double-A with he got sent down, I think, to Double-A from Triple-A.
He was killing it in Double-A, and he went Triple-A and had some reality hit him. The Triple-A hitters are good, which I don't necessarily. I mean, I'm not there doing it; they make their decisions. But to me, Hunter spent all last year in Double-A, all this year in Double-A, killing it. He went to Triple-A, had some rough times. Like, just keep throwing in Triple-A, man. We know he's better than Double-A. So unless you ran into some roster crunch, I don't know why. If you're going to develop the kid and he looks like a guy who could be a guy, go out and let him throw.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that'll happen.
This time next year is going to be really, really exciting because I think we're going to have a bunch of guys on the Double-A, Triple-A threshold and potentially September call-up threshold, especially looking at how quickly Holibet's has moved up. And, they want to get those pitchers up and using those innings in the pros as fast as they can.
Yeah.
Especially the Braves. So, Trenton.
Yeah.
Maybe Trent Jacob may be up there real quickly with their bullpen problems.
I'm all for it. As a Braves fan, nothing's got me more hyped than my guys signed with the Braves. I'm very excited about it.
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, guys,
first thing I did today was check the Rome schedule to see if it was possible. I was like, it might be a little rough getting down to Spartanburg.
Yeah. I hope the weather's not too bad this week. We're going to go watch the Tides play a couple nights.
That kid Basayo I was telling you about the other day, he got moved up to the big leagues right after we talked about it.
Yeah, well, he deserved it. He earned it.
He did. He was killing it.
Get out there and watch him a little bit. And, in a few years, you'll have Ike Iris from Auburn, who we played against, and then Bodine from Coastal. Here playing at some point, so that'd be cool.
Well, it might have Ethan Anderson from UVA and Cox before too long. He just got moved to Double-A today.
That's right. Yeah. Well, that'd be neat for him to play. I mean, anytime you get a chance to play in your hometown, minor league baseball, that's a cool story, right?
Yeah, we were talking about Trey Gibson from Grafton was up, and I know we both were big fans of him when he was in high school, and he ended up at Liberty. Yeah. But he's up at the Tides, and he was a pitcher of the week last week in his first week.
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Pretty great.
All right.
Love baseball. It's great. You guys are awesome. We really appreciate you guys joining us. This is such a blessing to have, and we're looking forward next month. We'll figure out what we're doing in September, man. We're gonna keep having a blast and keep talking some Monarch baseball.
Yeah, we'll have some of the, we'll have started fall practice by then and have some fall updates, all that fun stuff. So we're excited about it.
All right.
Yeah, we got to figure out a plan for CB and I to get out there to fall practice. maybe do some live streaming opportunities there during your World
There you
Series time.
Come on. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
We
All
love
right.
it.
Well, thank you
All
as always, Paul. Thanks so much for hopping on
Problem,
today.
guys.
Thanks,
Have a
guys.
good
Go
rest of
Monarchs.
your fellas.
Thanks, Paulie.
Go.
Thanks, CB. Thanks, Gary.
See you guys. Go Monarchs.
Guys.
Go Monarchs.
See ya.
Go Monarchs.